How far up did you go?
I went to almost that pole sticking up there with the 11 on it.
Yeah.
Barely see the road. Well, you can't see the
Can you
road.
still see the yellow line in the middle or no?
No. You're a little higher than I am, but
Yeah.
I'll follow you. Wait till I get in my truck though.
Well, hello. Welcome back to Tale 3 Cabins. I left northern Ohio a little while ago and it was sunshine, clear skies, a little bit chilly, but the weather was pretty decent. And normally when I come to southern Ohio, I'm kind of looking for more decent weather than up in northern. But when I got down here, there's a little bit of white stuff on the ground. It just came down this morning. Seems like I'm always trying to outrun winter, and it's just keeping right up with me. What is it? It's 29 degrees right now. It's been a while since I've been down here. It's just shy of a couple days of being 2 months. And since then, there's been a couple good snowstorms that came through here, but some extreme temperatures, and that's the thing that concerns me. I've mentioned this in a couple of videos previously to this. I monitor the weather in this little town that we have here. For example, the temperatures a few weeks ago were minus 14 degrees here. And typically by our cabin, which is about 20 minutes away, temperatures usually run cooler than what it does in town here, usually by 4 or 5 degrees. So I don't know if that means it was minus 19 or minus 20. I can assume that it was because that's just typically the way it goes. But that's pretty darn cold. And my concern is that something froze underneath the crawl space of the house. Now I left the heat on. I think I set the temperature for like 58 degrees, somewhere in there. So the heat was constantly going, and I know that because I got a pretty good hefty electric bill for the last month. So we've seen a lot of temps in the below zero range and extended too, not just like a stray day here and there, but several days in a row with temperatures below zero. And I'm concerned that the temperature stayed so constant below zero that something happened underneath. I did bring some tools that I could fix some plumbing if I need to. There's a couple trouble spots that I'm concerned about when I get there. Number one is like a whole house filter I have that's, basically a plastic globe that holds the filter. I would think if something froze that would be one of the most vulnerable spots because it is up against some masonry wall. It is higher up and it would be prone to low temperatures if they kind of seep through that wall for a prolonged period. And then the other thing would be our expansion tank down there. Basically a solid steel blue tank that's got a bladder in it that keeps the pressure constant when the pump clicks on and off. That too would be susceptible for freezing. And then even in the well itself, the well's buried with maybe a foot of dirt, a foot and a half. And of course it's underground. But you wonder, temperatures that extreme, that low, usually the pump pumps up and there's a pipe that comes almost to the top of that tank. Was it cold enough towards the top of that tank to freeze that pipe? So those are three main areas that I'm concerned about, and we'll just have to wait and see when I get there. What I'm going to do is, before I turn the water on, I'm just going to go down into the crawl space and just do a visual inspection, see if the filter's intact, see if that steel expansion tank has any fractures in it or cracks in it, see if there's been any water seepage. But if those areas are good, I think I'm all right. So I got some other things going on. I should be there in about 15 minutes. Cross our fingers that everything works out okay when we get there. I'm hoping we don't have any issues, but let's go find out. Okay, I did a quick once over throughout the house and everything seems to be okay. I do have an issue with that mouse problem up here, and I think there's a little bit of poison left up in there. I still have to fix that bulb. I don't know what that is. That might be a dead mouse up there. The toilets are on the verge of being dry, so I have to flush the toilets. Hopefully we'll get that water up here in a second. I kind of just been looking at pipes overall and make sure nothing like stands out wet or anything like that. Let us go outside and go into the crawl space and see if we could determine if we can turn that water on. Well, it looks dry. Of course, if the pipes were to break, it would have been a month and a half ago. So, all right, that's good. There's pressure there. It doesn't look cracked, but it's dirtier than I thought it would be. Looks like there's some water. Oh, that's pretty. Pretty disgusting. All right. Well, wow. They survived the winter. My little temperature gauge down there needs to be reset. Okay, I'm gonna go turn on the pump, see if I hear any noise, and then see if there's anything leaking inside the tank itself. Let's get out of here. Don't hear no water spraying. Don't hear nothing here either. All right, that sounds good. All right, well, I was really worried about something being froze down there, but so far, so good. It seems like everything's intact. Had pressure on the pressure gauge. I flushed the toilet and ran the water a little bit here, and everything seems to be okay. So hopefully the rest of the week will go as smooth. We have a few more things to do, so I want you to stick around. I put my Starlink in pause since the end of January, so there was 1 month I really didn't have to pay for. It's supposed to be in a low data mode. For $5 a month, you have unlimited data, but it is throttled down really, really slow. And it's supposed to be a 0.5 megabit. I tried doing some speed tests, and I wasn't getting next to nothing. It kept timing out on me. It did go through once, but it was definitely a lot slower than a 0.5 megabit. I'm trying to bring Starlink back up to full throttle and get better downloads here, but I can't even get enough data to go back and turn it back on. So I'm glad I tested this out now, because we are planning an extended RV trip pretty soon, and it looks like it's not reliable to use this plan, at least not here for some reason. Now, all right, so we had a little bit of rain overnight, but right now we got some partly clouds. A little bit of sunshine is out. This morning I woke up and there was a couple of deer right there by the truck. Last night we just kind of got settled, unloaded the truck. A bunch of those propane cylinders that I got from my brother-in-law that recently passed away, they were in his garage. So I brought a bunch of those down here, and I think we have enough for the next couple of years of hunting. There were a couple of deer over here using a UTV path in the morning. We need to go up on top of the hill, do a few errands. We got about a 2-hour window. It looks like the clouds are darkening up a little bit over there, but it's going to rain again today, so we want to run up on top of the hill before that becomes too muddy to get up there. It's all muddy. I just washed this. Might as well send the other one up.
That one's not working.
And that just dropped.
Oh, I was going to say, you can't be doing that. I missed it.
Probably keep going forward. It's real close to the trunk of the tree. This is always the fun part, figure out which way to slide it.
There's the way to go. Corn left in there? Just that.
Just
I think it's going to be the big that come around.
last supper.
Okay. 2 down, 1 to go.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
It's raining after me. You can just come in here and fiddle around. Look for bolts. We had a 2-hour window before it was going to start raining, and I think we're at our 2-hour point. Deer sausage?
What's that?
Deer sausage?
No. Just regular sausage.
While it's raining, it's a good time to take care of some things indoors. This is a frustrating problem, and mice are getting into the roof system somehow. They're probably getting in through 160 feet of soffit area. There's really no way we are going to block that off. Now luckily they haven't made it into the house yet. This vent area is as far as it goes, but I have smelled dead mice in some of the other bedrooms, probably the odor coming through a light fixture. I won't be able to come down here for a couple months, and a couple of the guys are going to come down and take care of things in my absence. So I want to top off everything, get all the fuel I need for the lawnmower, charge up the batteries so they can just come here, cut the grass, and if they want to spend the night they can. If they want to go home, they can just go home.
I drilled a hole. There's a screw going in.
It's been going on for about a year now, but I've had an issue with the right front tire on my riding mower. It's slowly losing air. I think it's losing it so slowly that it's going to be hard to detect and figure out where it is.
Nope, I'm just gonna roll it, but we're gonna have to move this thing as we go. Isn't it always on top?
Where the hole is?
It's probably leaking so slow that might not get anything.
On the not guilty verdict.
When you have a unanimous decision that the defendant did not understand wrongfulness or conduct.
So it's going to be about 2.5 months before I come down here again. Don's going to come down and hopefully with John, and they're going to cut the grass next month. We went over a few things. One thing I'm a little concerned about is that I'm going to have Starlink with us. We're going to be going on an extended RV trip, and there won't be any internet down here. So we pulled out my old cell phone booster, and we were messing around with that. And I know there's a cell tower. AT&T put a cell tower in that direction a couple years ago. Now I have Verizon, so it does me no good. And Don does have AT&T, but it does not work down here by the cabin. If we're on top of the hill, it works just fine.
Will it open that web page?
And we did a few experiments, and we actually pointed the antenna around in
Showing bars
different
though?
directions and had the booster in different configurations.
Oh, man.
And I actually put a SIM card, an eSIM, in my phone. Usually I'll use an eSIM if you're a traveler and you want to maintain data when you go out of the country. But I purchased one for the United States, and it will do AT&T and it will do T-Mobile. And I had a little issue trying to get it set up, but I think I got it up and running. We tried it up on the hill, and I could not get a signal. I thought if I could capture the AT&T signal, I would do away with the little makeshift router that I bring when I go hunting. Sometimes I have it in the tree stand, sometimes I have it in the blind, but I usually have to carry a little battery pack, the router, and then that will give me some internet while I'm up there. Now, I've gone over why I need internet time and time again, and it's mostly because of the rental cabin down in Tennessee and being in charge of the HOA down there. It's just being away for a couple hours can be kind of critical and cost me rental money or somebody else rental money. That's one reason why I want to stay in touch all the time. Now, we did get an AT&T signal working, and Don does have some minimal data, and that's what we used to use way back before we put the new house up. When we had the old cabin, we had an antenna on the roof, and it was spotty and intermittent. Years ago, Verizon used to work with very few issues. It was very slow and kind of sluggish, but if you needed to do a text message, even if you needed to make a phone call, most of the time it was doable. We drove around in the UTV and looked around for some sheds on the edges here and fringes, and didn't really see anything. It was too muddy to try to go up and making a second attempt to go up on the hill. Just it wasn't going to be worth it. It was a little hard getting up there yesterday. Usually you get one shot and you're done when you have this muddy, wet weather. But all in all, I'm happy that we didn't have any water issues. I'm happy that there were no leaks under there. I thought at the very least I was going to be changing the water filter or have a few pipes break down there, but everything seemed to be intact and everything seems to be working. Now the water tank, this was critical for us because it was last year when our water got tainted and dirty. It was in March when I came down and it was all muddy again. And I think the reason that happened is because we had sealed it up with hydraulic cement, redug everything out, sealed it, and then when we had the cold temperatures last time, I think, a little expansion and contraction, and that just allowed enough for water to infiltrate in through the hatch on top of our water tank, and in turn just fill it up with muddy water. And as you know, last spring I tarred the thing all up, put many coats of tar on there, waterproofing tar, and so far it looks like it's held. We've had definitely a lot of temperature extremes. We just had a couple good rains. We've had some good snowstorms. And it doesn't appear that anything infiltrated into the tank, and I'm happy about that because that was another critical test. I knew I sealed it up pretty good in the spring, but I was waiting until we had a freeze, went through winter, and then we went through a thaw to see if it was going to create any issues with water infiltration. We had several good downpours overnight and into the morning, which is why we have some flooding here. We're on our way home, and judging by the conditions, I can tell you that the road up ahead is going to be completely flooded out.
What leverage does the president have to put somebody else in there anyway?
Yeah.
Barely see the road. Well, you can't see the
Can you
road.
still see the yellow line in the middle or no?
No. You're a little higher than I am, but
Yeah.
I'll follow you. Wait till I get in my truck, though.
The beeping are the sensors built in my bumper to tell you that you're close to something, like water. I've been watching Don in my rearview mirror, and he pretty much backed off at this point, and I can see he's not going to go any further, and I'm starting to wonder if I should go any further too. The water is just encroaching on my running boards. I don't want to go above them because then that's going to hit the rocker panels, and I don't want water coming in the truck. But so far, it's okay. The worst of it is behind me. I thought I saw Don backing out, but it wasn't positive, so I'm going to hang out here. I don't see him. I don't see his headlights anywhere. And I double-checked just in case we were in a spot where there was cell service, but I don't have any. Okay, I had my fingers crossed that that crossing wouldn't be too bad, but it was probably about the highest that I've seen it, and I probably would not have done it if I had my other truck, or I would have got into it kind of like Don did. He's probably watching me, seeing how deep the water was getting around my truck, and backed off, and I think he's going to try to take a back road to get back over to the freeway. So this is probably a video on definitely of what not to do. The only reason that I went through there is because I've been on that road hundreds of times. I'm familiar with it. I know that when the water builds up over there, that it's not like swift moving water, that it's not the type that's going to sweep your truck away. I've seen it flood several times. It's been a while since I've seen it flood. In fact, there's a little bit of another little flooded out area here, so we're not out of the woods yet. There's a couple more high water spots before we get to the freeway, and I got a couple more coming up here, so but I'm gonna try to get into cell phone range. But an interesting ride home. Hopefully this is the worst of it.
Hi, you have reached Don. Leave your message, and I'll get back to you later. Thanks.
Hey.
Hey, where you at?
I'm by the Emporium. Did you just pull into the gas station?
Yep.
How'd it go?
I backed up and went around.
Yeah, you didn't get water in the truck or nothing, did you?
No, it was getting close, so I didn't want to chance it.
Yeah, I saw it was like right up to your bumper.
Yeah, so it was like, I better not take the chance anymore.
Yeah.
So I backed out, and even backing out, I almost went off the road. That would have sucked because we can't get a hold of each other. And I followed that around, and then it came to a fork where I could have went and kept going and got on the 40-something, 45. But some guy came behind me. I said, hey, I'm kind of like lost back here. He goes, where are you going? I said, Caldwell. He said, well, I'm going to Carlisle.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking it's going to get to the other side. So we came out on the other side of Carlisle.
Yeah.
But then there was that high water there.
Yeah.
Well, he turned right. There was some lady that backed up. She didn't go through it. And he waved me to like, come on, it's not that bad. So I got through that one. Crazy.
How high did the water look on my truck?
It was looking like it was getting up to close to your running board.
Yeah.
And I looked out, it was just below my running boards. So I'm like thinking, well, if I go any farther and comes up over, I might get water inside, and that'd be a disaster.
Yeah. Yeah, because it looked like it was a couple inches on your bumper, and your bumpers are taller than your rocker panels. So.
Yeah, I'm hoping no water got in here, but I don't see any water in here.
Yeah.
But you know, I probably went farther than I should have went. But we'll see. We'll see if it starts to smell in here down the road.
Yeah.
But I'll pull the mats back and feel the carpet, see if they're wet. Because I don't think there shouldn't be any holes in the floorboard.
No.
But I think the only way it would have got in is through the doors. But I stopped before it got that high.
Yeah.
All right.
Okie dokes. Well, be careful.
I'll talk to you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye. But that is going to do it for today. I appreciate everybody watching. Hope you enjoy and subscribe to these videos. Click on that little bell when you want to know when a new one is coming out. And keep an eye on us. Take care, everybody.